All right, let's get right into it. We've all heard that the sun gives us vitamin D, right? The sunshine vitamin. But what if I told you that living in a sunny paradise might not actually protect you from being deficient? Today, we're going to unpack a really weird paradox that might just change how you think about your health and the sun.
So I want you to ask yourself this question. Do you think you get enough vitamin D? It seems pretty simple, and you'd probably say yes, especially if you live somewhere sunny. But the real answer? It's pretty shocking.
97.5%. Just take a second to look at that number. I mean, it seems impossibly high, doesn't it?
Well, that is the actual percentage of young women in a city right on the equator, we're talking intense year-round sunshine, who were found to be vitamin D deficient. This is the sunshine paradox, and it really makes you wonder, if they aren't getting enough, is anyone?
Okay, so let's take a closer look at this pretty startling discovery.
So this study was done in Indonesia, a tropical country where the sun should be a super reliable source of vitamin D. For them, it should provide up to 90% of what their bodies need. And yet, for these 80 healthy women, it just wasn't happening. Something, clearly, is getting in the way.
To figure this puzzle out, we really need to understand what vitamin D actually is and, what it's supposed to be doing for us. First off, it's not just a vitamin, it's actually a hormone that our body produces, and its main gig, managing calcium. And that is absolutely critical for keeping our bones, our teeth, and our muscles strong and healthy.
We get it from two places. The number one source, by a long shot, is sunlight, specifically UVB rays hitting our skin. We do get some from food, sure, but it's a much, much smaller piece of the pie.
And this is the problem. Even if you're trying to eat right, you're eating fish, you're drinking fortified milk, it is incredibly difficult to get all the vitamin D you need from your diet alone. The amounts in food just aren't high enough for most people.
Which brings us right back to our mystery in Indonesia. They have all the sun they could ever need. So what on earth was going wrong? The researchers actually managed to track it down to three main things. Now, two of them kind of make sense. Not eating enough vitamin D-rich foods, and of course, using sunscreen. But the biggest predictor, this one was a total curveball. Poor sleep quality. Let's just talk about sunscreen for a sec, because this quote from the study is kind of mind-blowing. If you use it properly, the way dermatologists tell you to prevent skin cancer, it can reduce your skin's vitamin D production by up to 99%. It almost completely shuts it down. So, in trying to solve one problem, we might be creating another one entirely.
And then we have the sleep connection, and this is where it gets really interesting. It turns out it's a two-way street. Low vitamin D is linked to bad sleep, but having a messed up body clock, your circadian rhythm, also seems to mess with how your body uses vitamin D. It's this vicious cycle where the sunshine hormone might be a key signal that actually helps set our internal clocks in the first place.
And you really need to know this. This isn't just about your bones anymore. The stakes are way, way higher than we used to think.
Yeah, for decades, we've known about the classic stuff. A severe deficiency causes rickets in kids, and this painful bone condition in adults called osteomalacia. But that, it turns out, is just the tip of the iceberg. Scientists are now finding vitamin D receptors in pretty much every single tissue in the human body. And that's why its impact is so huge. We're talking about a healthy immune system, your heart and cardiovascular system, a reduced risk for some cancers, and even things like fertility and having a healthy pregnancy. This totally changes it from just a bone vitamin into a cornerstone of our overall health.
So, all of this leads to the most important question, right? Are you getting enough? And what can you do about it?
Well, according to the UK's National Health Service, adults and kids over 1 year old need 10 micrograms a day. That's about 400 international units. For babies under 1, it's just a little bit less, around 8.5 to 10 micrograms.
Now listen up, because some groups are at a much higher risk. This includes anyone who isn't outdoors very often, like people who might be housebound. It also includes people who wear clothes that cover most of their skin, and, importantly, people with darker skin, because melanin actually makes it harder for the skin to produce vitamin D.
And here is the absolute key for so many of us. If you live somewhere like the UK, from about October to March, the sun is just too weak. It doesn't matter how much time you spend outside, your body literally cannot make enough vitamin D. So during those darker months, you have to get it from your diet or supplements.
This quote from a major scientific review really sums it all up. It says, supplements and sensible sun exposure are the front line of prevention for a whole range of diseases. So the solution isn't to bake in the sun all day. It's a balanced approach. Get some smart, safe sun when you can, and make sure you're getting enough from food and, for a lot of us, supplements.
So we're left with this one big, nagging question. In creating our modern world of offices, indoor gyms, and constant sun protection, have we accidentally disconnected ourselves from a process that's vital to our health? Are we creating a silent pandemic that's affecting millions of people, even in the sunniest places on Earth? It's definitely some food for thought.